Creatine, what can it really do for you? What is overhyped? And what do you have to do to unlock its benefits for your body? As a scientist, I spend a lot of my time telling people to save their money. That $60 anti-inflammatory greens powder, save your money. The mushroom coffee, the liver support capsules, the detoxifying nasal spray, keep your wallet shut. So people are always surprised when the conversation turns to creatine, and I kind of stop rolling my eyes. Creatine is one of the very few supplements that I personally take every day, that I've recommended for my parents, and that I think many people would actually stand to benefit from. But it's also in the middle of a giant hype wave, and a lot of what's being claimed, especially for your brain, is running well ahead of where the evidence stands. So let me give you the real picture. What is rock solid, what is promising but not quite there yet, and two safety concerns that you can stop thinking about, including one that came from a study that never even measured the thing that everyone is scared of. Creatine was for decades a gym bro supplement, filed next to the protein tubs. That's changing quite quickly though. It's now one of the fastest growing supplements on the market. And at one large retailer, creatine sales to women jumped 320% in early 2025 compared to the year prior. Some of that is great evidence following behavior, and some of that growth in sales is from clever marketing claims about memory and mood and healthy aging and glowing skin that the data simply do not yet support. Both of those things are happening at once, and yet there are some very real benefits to creatine supplements in some specific circumstances that we will discuss. The good news is that creatine is one of the most studied supplements in the history of sports science, hundreds of studies, so unlike most of the supplement aisle, we're not really guessing when it comes to this one. First, it's important to understand what creatine even does in your body. Your muscles run on a molecule called ATP for quick energy, but you only store a few seconds worth of ATP at a time. So even for short, hard efforts, your body has to rebuild it on the fly using a backup reservoir called phosphocreatine. You can think of that as like a small fast charging battery in your muscles. Creatine supplementation tops that battery up so it can hold a little bit more at its max capacity, which means you can squeeze out maybe 1 or 2 more reps in your hard sets. That is the whole mechanism for how it works in your body, which will help you in a moment when we discuss what you have to do to take advantage of creatine's benefits. If you combine creatine supplementation with resistance training, you build meaningfully more strength and muscle compared to doing the same training but without creatine. The International Society of Sports Nutrition calls creatine monohydrate the most effective ergogenic nutritional supplement currently available. And that's about as strong as a nerdy scientific body will ever endorse something. And here's the critical part that should change how you think about this. I don't think of creatine personally as just a gym thing, so much as I think of it as a longevity factor. What you need to know is that we lose muscle as we age in a process called sarcopenia, at a rate of about 3 to 8% muscle mass loss per decade after age 30. And that loss is one of the biggest drivers of frailty and falls and loss of independence later in life. But in a meta-analysis of 22 studies in older adults, the people who added creatine to the resistance training gained about 3 pounds more muscle and got significantly stronger than those who did the same training but took a placebo. But we should be very clear about the order of operations there, because a lot of people misunderstand this. The strength training is what drives the growth stimulus and what builds the muscle. Like we just discussed, what creatine does is it tops up your batteries in your muscles a little bit more to let you get a few more reps in, let you recover a little bit faster. It's an amplifier for the benefits of strength training. But taking creatine powder alone without doing the training will not help your muscles at all. If you're already doing the work though, or you're willing to commit to starting to do at least say 30 minutes or 60 minutes of weight training per week, creatine is one of the few things that reliably makes your training pay off a little bit more for a cost of less than $1 per day. And by the way, I don't have any affiliate relationships with any supplement companies. I'm not recommending any specific particular product. This is just my interpretation of the data. Now let's cover the 2 myths that scare a lot of people off. First, the kidneys. This mostly comes from a mix-up of confusing terminology. Creatine breaks down into creatinine, which is the exact thing that doctors measure as one way to estimate your kidney function. So when you supplement with creatine, that creatinine number also goes up in your blood, which can make it look like your kidneys are having trouble clearing creatinine, but in reality what's happening is there's just more total creatinine moving through your system. When researchers actually have studied kidney function in healthy people taking creatine, even for years, they found no kidney damage. And to be very clear on that point, those studies were conducted in healthy people. If you have kidney disease, or if you're pregnant, or you have any other medical concern or question, you should talk with your doctor before starting creatine, not watch a video like this. Second, the hair loss scare, and that one traces to a single 2009 study in 20, yes, 20 college rugby players, and this is the wild part, they never actually measured anyone's hair. Not hair count, not hair thickness, nothing. They measured a hormone, which everyone extrapolated to baldness. But then in a 2025 trial that actually measured hair, they found no difference between creatine and placebo. Creatine supplementation and brain health. You've probably seen the headlines about creatine improving memory, boosting processing speed, and so on. And the idea is very appealing. Your brain runs on that same phosphocreatine battery as we were talking about in your muscles, so topping up its max reservoir, it could theoretically help. And I would love for these relationships to be true. I'm saying that as someone who takes creatine daily. But when I looked closely, the data right now are shaky. The single most cited creatine improves memory study turned out to have a statistical error. It accidentally counted some people more than once, and then when they went and they reran the study analysis correctly, the benefit shrank to a level where it could easily be due to chance. Then European food safety regulators reviewed all of the brain-related data, and they formally rejected the claim that creatine improves cognition, concluding, quote, "A cause and effect relationship could not be established. Right now, it is simply way too early to conclude that creatine improves cognition or that it doesn't. So there are clear benefits for extra muscle growth and strength growth if you do strength training while taking creatine. But any proposed benefits in the brain are as of yet unproven." So here's the big takeaway I've come to. Creatine is one of the rare supplements I would actually recommend you consider if you are doing strength training and if you are healthy, but only for what it's been proven to do, which is to help you hold on to strength and muscle as you age, which is one of the most important things you can do for a long, capable life. It's been shown to be generally safe for healthy people. It costs less than $1 per day if you get the right type. The brain stuff sounds hopeful. It's certainly not yet proven. As higher quality data emerge on that front, I will provide an update. I wrote a full deep dive letter covering creatine for my Substack subscribers. If you want more information on the dose, specifically on whether you need to do a loading dose phase when you're getting started, which chemical form of creatine to actually buy, and therefore how to save money by avoiding the unnecessary fancy forms, I wrote all that up with extra nuance on my Substack. The link is in the description if you're ready to do that deeper dive. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out my prior video on the #1 predictor of how long you will live. It's here on the screen. It's also linked in the description.